Oh yeah, I started my stream. Okay, so players are ready. Oh, and we have audio. So I'll just listen to their audio. I like this song. Eh. I won't self-advertise. Okay, so we have DivineTyrone versus BGuy. This is round of 32 in King of, or this is round of 16 in King of the Summit. We saw BGuy's box in some earlier matches, and he's running some pretty interesting stuff. Definitely a more rush-oriented box. Hey Rain, what's up? On DivineTyrone's side, we see very purely a single target strategy between units like Yusuke and Wataru. There's also Ange, who is interesting. Usually I don't think you would see her in this kind of box. So, first picking a tank, which potentially lets your Liana and Iris get banned, but a lot of these units are self-sufficient, and we also see Licorice, and then there's still D-Lit up too, so maybe trying to ban out the healers isn't the best route here. Preventing a dedicated healer could definitely still be good though. And Iris is annoying with Dog, teleporting people on top. Or teleporting Dog on top of people with B-Shock, especially your tank. It's an annoying play. So yeah, BGuy does decide to go the healer route ban. So likely what we're going to see here is Licorice or D-Lit get picked up next. Just so the team has some sort of healing. Hey Ant, what's up? Yeah, Licorice, because BGuy's box is pretty heavy on the AoE. We also see an Altina, which is interesting. And DivineTyrone is responding with healer bans of his own, trying to force BGuy into picking something now. So, this Oldius will not necessarily be that useful against this Hilda, so he's kind of a dead pick. Ange, similarly, will not be useful against Hilda. Those two units are probably just going to get left up this entire time. The one thing Oldius does provide regardless is a faction buff for Dog, as well as some additional debuff removal, which is good against how much debuff is in BGuy's box. And we see Liko from both sides. BGuy opts to ban the Ares, who, with Wind Whisper, can potentially kill Licorice in one shot. And the Kruger, who is you could sort of say he's the can opener for this single target team. He takes away some of your buffs and he injures everybody up, maybe rolls a heal block. And his range is really good, so he can keep up with all these long leg strikers. So that makes sense. And the Zerida Werner ban, Liko is very good against AoE damage as a healer, and so is Dog. So it makes sense that we're going to see the single target get removed here. DivineTyrone feels he could use more healing. The problem with D-Lit versus Hilda is Hilda can just turn herself into a cav, and even if she doesn't opt to do that, your D-Lit is still going to have a 30% chance of just killing herself if she just stays green, and maybe your D-Lit takes one life, but is that a great trade for D-Lit? Not particularly, but she's still a really good support. Still provides healing. It can just be hard to get Elven Aura set up, which you would usually like to do to get healing. But then again, there is a Dog, so maybe we wouldn't see that. A lot of people would run Wind Cutter or 3C in place of that. Although in this comp I feel she needs both Gospel and Sea of Miracles. So Wind Cutter is probably the more likely option. DivineTyrone banning out Himiko and Dog. Against what he has, against what's like DivineTyrone still has a lot of good single target. You could pick Elwyn. I don't think he necessarily needed to ban Dog there. Himiko though, it's the same kind of thing, but I can understand it because, well, Licorice has Mass Resist, which will prevent the mobility down from Himiko. So with this comp, I think you can afford it, but maybe it's a more relative to what's left in the box as less threatening. I don't know. And so, interestingly, we did see the Oldius get banned, probably just to prevent the faction buff. It's fine. He's still a good puncher with Gift of Eternal Life, still provides some healing, so makes sense to get rid of that even if his push won't be doing too much. And yeah, Ange is just so not helpful versus Hilda. So that's why you didn't see her get picked. Compositionally, excuse me, Bernhardt's Sorn Dance can be shut down with Mass Protect from the Licorice, depending on what kind of skill set you're opting to bring. Although the more you lean into Liko being a support, the less she can help your team carry. But there's not a great AoE combo anyway, so I think that'd be fine. On BGuy's side, he does have Ares. Ares can choose to go single target or AoE in this match. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Ares can choose to go single target or AoE in this match. Busting Dog with Noble Charge, especially after Dog jumps in and you open him up with some other stuff, maybe Ainz or a Bernhardt basic attack. So yeah, I think it really comes down to how much is DivineTyrone willing to run support Licorice. There's also Gospel from D-Lit that you can put on up to 2 people. Yusuke, if that Hilda should be blood packed, we likely won't see that burn tanking, so there's probably not going to be a great chance to be able to hit the Bernhardt. And pretty much every Hilda should be blood packed. You should really expect that. So the heal block isn't going to do much. And that basically means the single target combo is all between D-Lit and Yusuke and maybe Dog's singular B-Shock. And that's probably not going to get through Hilda. DivineTyrone probably needs to lock down Hilda here and go for sniping things other than the Hilda tank. Bernhardt did not bring a guard skill, so once DivineTyrone can get that lockdown, it looks tough for BGuy, who only has Ares swap to potentially peel off the Dog. So that means Ares probably needs to save all his skills, because you're using him to make sure this Yusuke and this D-Lit can't just run over and kill the other people on your team. And I believe Ainz brought Dark Reaper, which is nice for getting through the tank, and we also saw single target Ares. Or maybe you didn't see that, but I did. And Ainz is bringing Wizards, so he should be able to do some pretty good damage against this Dog. And there's BGuy recognized that DivineTyrone's team is good against AoE damage. Oh, Ainz actually just brought AoE, yeah. He was thinking about Dark Reaper. So Skyfall is only particularly effective against this Landius. Ainz usually doesn't run clock because his 3C cannot be clocked. And from BGuy side, we do have a full Tensei comp. Ainz is also Tensei, so he will get hit by that buff. And Ares getting buffed by Hilda is nice because that does give him some additional single target damage, 12%. And Bernhardt also brought Sword Dance. But again, I didn't see what DivineTyrone's Liko brought, but that is something you can counter. Still, Mass Protect. At best, you can use Demonic Advent to cycle Mass Protect up, so you can have it up 4 turns in a row, which that's not a lot of opportunity to get through anything. And even then, even assuming you don't have it, there's still 2 Gospels from Deedlit. It's interesting that everybody else brought AoE, but Ares is here with the single target. I think the idea here is that you're using Ainz, Liko, and Burn to potentially knock Juggler off of 100% HP, and then Ares can finish off the dog. And probably want to go a bit fast, because as soon as DivineTyrone's dog can get a lockdown on Hilda, the DivineTyrone's comp becomes extremely dangerous. Most of these units all of these units will die to Yusuke, and it depends on the conditions for Deedlit, like if she's 100% or not, but most of them should be dead too. Even Liko, because she didn't opt to bring Sorceresses, which would be better against Deedlit than Crystal Warlocks. And Bernhardt not bringing werewolves is again, it's tech against this Deedlit. I don't know if Deedlit would be able to kill Green Soldier Burn. You could try to predict that he would run Green Soldiers to try to counter your unicorns, and then just run heavy infantry. And also there is that faction buff from Yusuke that will really make Deedlit hurt. So I do know how her animations go, and that is that Deedlit attacks after her troops do, so a lot of those hits are going to go into the Stone Colossus, but unicorns should still do some pretty okay damage, because Stone Colossus do not have MDef worth talking about, so it's still possibly a kill. Probably depends a bit on the Bernhardt. So yeah, Hilda decided to go Cav. This means there is no chance this Deedlit will ever kill her. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, like I said, you could just stay green and run Crystal Molders, which I'm not actually sure why BGuy is running Phalanx. I guess it's to counter the Yusuke. Maybe the dog as well. He doesn't do too hot against damage reduction. But really, dog shouldn't be shocking this Hilda, probably. Oh, and we don't even need Hilda's buff. We have Burn 3C. That's a nice 18% damage for Ares instead of 12. But you do need Hilda's buff for the other people on your team, Liko and Ainz. So yeah, Bernhardt has a very nice single target faction buff. Looking at the attack on that Bernhardt, 1093, that kind of seems like balanced blade range to me. I did not catch if it's boots burn. But that means he has some very effective range. So yeah, Deedless Gospeling the Juggler. This will improve Juggler's damage. It'll... Not having heal block on dog is also always going to be really good. This Ares jump, it's risky. If Ares doesn't crit, yeah. If Ares doesn't crit, then he's probably not going to kill the dog, although he might, because we saw that was a Thorns dog. It's more so steel that makes Ares, or that makes Juggler so tanky, or helps him so much. Even if you can take out water, it's risky. But the risk pays off, although Thorns actualizes. That's another risk. And Ares dies for it. But honestly, now we have BGuy's AoE composition with the dog removed. So Ares did his job here. And that was probably DivineTyrone's strongest win condition, getting that Juggler on top of that Hilda, because now there's just no way this Yusuke can get through this can get through this Hilda, and Deedlit isn't going to be able to do anything either. So basically we're gonna see the AoE pain train. And as long as BGuy plays right and patiently and stays in guard range, this single target comp looks pretty busted from DivineTyrone. It's difficult for DivineTyrone to even push up. As soon as you do that, then Liko is ready with Dark Dragon Breath. Yeah, he recognizes that, has to play back, but it's just, what can you do here? There's just no way to get through Hilda. Hilda is very good against single target. It's extremely hard to kill her, not many things can. And even sometimes when you do kill her, she just thorns and you just die anyway. Fun stuff. I love having 30% chances to just lose my unit every time I attack. Feels great. Another thing about Hilda that is a little unsuspecting, although not in this case, is her green transformation. Gives her up to 10% damage per block the enemy moves, capping at 50%. 50% is some pretty crazy numbers, and that's part of why she can counter kill so well a lot of the time. We see a very nice Ions. 1620 int. Usually if I was thinking, yeah, so DivineTyrone still has turn priority. No, wait, yeah, no. Yeah. Because, and I usually, if I'm fighting AoE, I often prefer to be player 2 because you always have the last action to respond. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, if Liko clocks a bunch of times from DivineTyrone, then I can see this game swinging. That's probably what needs to happen here. And the other thing is, there's also Liko on BGuy's side, so this tile war when your Liko always has the last action. But it does come down to clocks. Hey, Winged. This is probably just a cycle. There's nothing D-Lit can do against this Hilda. Getting up more Gospels before the opponent, before BGuy engages would be nice. And if your D-Lit can't threaten the tank anyway, it's just fine to play her as a support. You know, in that case, you pretty much want to use the act again every single time you can. This isn't going to accomplish anything. Holy crap, that did a lot of damage. Why doesn't my D-Lit do that much damage? Okay, this might actually accomplish something. Wow. I've seen my D-Lit do like nothing to Cav Hildas. That's crazy. I don't even think he used Sea of Miracles. Because my deed is steady. Yeah, I know, but I think it's Breeze, honestly, because I'm full moon too. Troops are phalanx, yeah, that's it too. Yeah, those phalanx just got chewed through by the unicorns, I guess, because as I said, D-Lit definitely attacks after her unicorns do. So we see the first life taken from Hilda. Liko probably has to respond by healing. Oh, burn aura too? Yeah, damn. The thing is, if you don't heal Hilda here, then Yusuke is definitely going to kill her and he's going to reset his 3C. Yusuke honestly might kill her even if you do heal though, so maybe that route isn't what you want to do. Maybe you just go all in on trying to take DivineTyrone out with AoE damage. Excuse me. But D-Lit, yeah, she dies for this. We should see Yusuke kill Hilda here. And Bernhardt did not bring a tank skill. Yes, he brought Sword Dance Rupture. Wind wall, but this should kill anyway, I think. Yeah, easily. What makes Hilda so bulky is her large HP pool. So when she's low, it's unfortunate. She's not really that tanky usually, and it's high investment. So now the question becomes some big damage, but Liko has mass heal up, so she can remove the heal block. But what happens with Liko's next attack? She'll only be able to hit Yusuke, because I don't think I saw a clock on that Dark Dragon Breath. But she might heal block him. Yusuke will still get a little bit of a top off from the tiles getting planted. And yeah, Liko from DivineTyrone's side can just stay out of the other Liko's Dark Despair range. So maybe if Liko rolls another heal block, then Yusuke's kind of in trouble. And yeah, Liko's saving her action for last. But BGuy takes turn priority here. And I think that Yusuke is dead. Yeah, but just this AoE combo is rough. Cause you lost turn prio. You can take out the tiles yourself, but this Yusuke is gonna die. It's a good thing Ainz didn't get silenced. Oh, you still have Liko too. I think his 3C does more damage, but I could be wrong. He'd probably, or BGuy would probably know better than me, given that he has a 6-star Ainz and I don't. Yeah, that Yusuke looks dead. It's just, you probably Liko because you want to get some more healing up, so that way you can't be too threatened. And yeah, Liko dies too, and that's the end of game 1. There's no way for Landius to make this comeback. It was a nice combo. Turn priority going over to BGuy's side because he didn't move Hilda. So yeah, that was what that AoE combo was all about. That game swung very quickly. Again, it was still risky for that Ares to go for that dog kill, but it paid off. Once dog dies there, DivineTyrone just didn't have a lot he could do. Dog was very important for his composition to prevent that AoE damage from killing you. Yeah, dog and Ares. BGuy just went in. But he did have Bernhardt faction buff. Yeah, Bernhardt faction buff, which is 18% damage. So maybe it wasn't risky. I don't know. I haven't thought about that kill range. Still getting used to burn existing. But it was just Bernhardt faction buff. As far as I know, unless he got a Tenyo that I didn't see. Yeah, it's kind of like King's Crown. I mean, it's only 2% off. Burn 3C, that is. Okay, so we only see one change from BGuy, but DivineTyrone busting out the debuff box, making a full swap. We're gonna see what he saw in BGuy's box was no rosin, I bet. So now he knows debuff is going to be effective. He even brings Akaya to get all of his debuffers over there as quickly as possible. Yeah, big dark swap. BGuy just opted to change Juggler for Albedo, interestingly. Or was he running Juggler? No matter. First ban Rosin for BGuy's side makes sense. There's a lot of debuff in his box, and Rosin will just easily shut that down. First ban Akaya on DivineTyrone's side is good. It locks out the rush option forces BGuy to play a tank push game, and with not a lot of healers versus this heavy amount of debuffs and the mobility, BGuy would probably prefer to play a faster game. We see pressure on the healers, as well as banning the Akaya too. Just there's too much debuff to prevent. You can't handle sorry, my brain just totally farted. Yeah, you can't handle all those debuffers getting a bunch of mobility. It'll just be too much. They'll just all run up and kill you. Yeah, DivineTyrone went for the debuff box, seeing no rosin. Pretty smart. And it definitely paid off. I wonder if we'll see BGuy swap rosin potentially next game if it comes to it. And then it'd be interesting to see DivineTyrone go back to his more single target box. It was Landius for Albedo on DivineTyrone's side, yeah. Okay, so banning Liko, she has high reach, and she can also overwrite your Liko tiles. Don't want to deal with that. That was probably a consideration for Oldius getting banned last game as well, on top of the buff. Ares getting banned because it looks like BGuy's going to be playing without a tank here, at least if DivineTyrone wants. BGuy needed to pick up that Licorice in order to have some sort of healing versus this debuff bonanza coming at him. Yeah, Flo, well, I see why. He second banned, or DivineTyrone second banned Ares probably after that last game where Ares just walked up and one-shot his dog. Doesn't want to go through that again. Maybe you could change the conditions instead, but I think that's what he was going for. As for Liko and Flo versus Hilda, now you can force BGuy on a no tank, but BGuy is also going to be playing against debuffers from DivineTyrone's side. Purely debuffers unless D-Lig is picked here. So there's not that big of a reason to have a tank anyway. And he gets Burn. Burn won't be able to guard D-Lit, or Bozel, or Listel, or Kruger, but he will be good damage. We saw that it was Balanced Blade. The reach is very good. Looks like DivineTyrone is simply opting to ban the fastest units in BGuy's box. Werner could be pretty hard countered, but maybe you don't want the rest of BGuy's team to have that mobility to get up to you. There's also T-Jess. Something to make T-Jess, or something to make Juggler, excuse me, something to make Juggler go on to Lancers would be really nice for most T-Jess, and there's not really much in BGuy's box that can do that, if anything. Like, Dog's not gonna tech Stone Colossus to fight a Werner, right? But yeah, if you can break Juggler with Twilight Star, then TJS has a pretty damn good matchup against him. Although on this map there is water in the center as well as towards the bottom. So even versus someone like Elwyn, you can still kind of get away with it as long as you move quickly. Yeah, this does look like it can go either way, but I think Liko tiles from BGuy side are probably the most important thing in staying alive here. And I would really like to see a more healer-focused Liko kit. I think a healer-focused Liko would be really good here. Liana is definitely a stronger dispel answer to BGuy's debuffs than Liko is to DivineTyrone. I mean, we're fighting Listel, Bozel, Kruger. That's a very scary composition. Need a really good dog jump so we can follow up off of it? Yeah. Player 1 probably needs to be the one engaging here. You don't want to just have Reen come in on you with a 3C and then heal block or heal reversal on your dog. Well, he should be gospel. He should be gospel. You should be good, Sane, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So Liko did not opt for a more healer-focused kit, I saw. It's okay. Not everybody. I'm not always right. So yeah, faction buff for Kruger, Listel, and Bozel. Really good range on the Kruger, and it just feels like as soon as Listel gets in, it's gonna be really tough for BGuy to survive. But we do have teleport from BGuy's side. That means Reen basically cannot be zoned. You're pretty free to just transform and then well, as long as you teleport him onto a fort or onto those forests, then he should be fine against Beast Shock, which is the only single target threat here. And we saw that Bozel did not run sleep. Ein's putting on his wings. Listel looks dead to TJS. Yeah. The thing about that is, as long as the TJS has Twilight Star, Listel should be dead. Maybe. No, we didn't see BGuy's TJS in either of the games, so there's no way we know whether or not it's Twilight Star. So the safe thing is you run demon troops here. That's what you need to do. And yeah, Thorns, if it happens, could turn this into a trade. You guys like, I don't need that healer grab. And interestingly, he brought faction buff on Liko, which does make sense for Ainz, I suppose. The Burn will be always running his 3C. And Sword Dance, well, her faction buff is 6% damage for Sword Dance versus 18% single target only. I mean, it's something. But yeah, Burn probably would rather have his buff so he can punch with werewolves pretty well. A hegemony build was also an option here. Nah, the game probably doesn't last that long. So you need the one big sword dance. It does. That opening kind of depends on whether or not Liana brings Sky Archer, and Liana could even opt to bring Mass Protect. So yeah, some big range. He can already hit the entire friggin' team. Ainz can hit Listel and Juggler. He cannot hit Bozel. Probably Kruger is going to move into range of the Ainz as well. And what I want to see probably is Reen moves up. I can't tell if he can get onto that forest or not. It's hard to count. I think he's one tile short. So that's unfortunate because Dog Beast Shock can definitely kill Reen unless you are on a forest, I think. That scared me. I'm gonna mute my Discord. There we go. I have push to talk on anyway. Scared the crap out of me. No, I don't know if he got 10 degrees on Dog or not. I was too busy getting spooked. If he did, that's gonna be really useful. Liana Gospels herself. I feel like that's risky against this Dog. Or, yeah, Dog not having Gospel here could... Well, there's no single target. It should be fine. Well, no, there's TJS. What am I saying? Jeez. Yeah, no, that's really scary. If Dog gets heal blocked or heal reversed here, then TJS is gonna have a field day. Well, it looks like BGuy doesn't want to go in right now. Saved his strengthen, I think, or no? Yeah, no, he did. That was a Tenya. Kruger bringing Midnight Feast, which does have a good range. Sometimes Dark Dragon Breath can be better. Yeah, Burn, Ainz, and Reen, they can all reach. Dog did not get Tenyos. Dog can lock down Reen here. But the thing is, you could teleport Reen out of range by using Strengthen next to somebody with TJS. And then Reen could just go in and hit the team anyway. With that Dark Ward, it could be interesting. It depends on how much magic defense this Listel has. She can be pretty tanky against mages, but most aren't built that way. Most are built to tank assassins. Twilight Star really hurt Listel's place in the meta. She's forced to be 3 moves if she wants to get around it. And she's always been sort of rights reliant. Okay, so there's a hero reversal on dog. This means dog is dead to T-Jess if T-Jess so chooses. Wait, no, not yet, because Listel is currently guarding the dog. But if dog jumps in, then he dies for it. That kill reversal is actually so annoying, unless DivineTyrone brought Sky Archer. Then you can purge it and just heal him up with Liana, and then go in if you like. One thing about T-Jess is she does need some time to build up her stacks. Otherwise, she doesn't have much of a talent. But these debuffs from Kruger are going to be slightly annoying. They are small 10% stat debuffs, but that can still swing things in ways you wouldn't like. We're probably going to see T-Jess move last here. The reason for that is she wants to counter any jump in that dog may do. So now Kruger is in range of the entire frickin' team. Bozel and Listel definitely are not, though. And your mobility is generally limited by your slowest units, right? If you don't have follow-up, then what is going to do for you? Not much. So while, and Kruger, he used Dark Ward actually, so he is not in reach of T-Jess. Listel Reapers would be an annoying thing you'd have to zone around. But Listel's already moved. But he's zoning it anyway. I think he's 2 tiles out of Reaper's touch range at the moment, so Listel just needs to move forward a little bit. The other thing is Listel is the magic guarder here. It's going down this turn, so probably we're going to see Listel not move next turn, and maybe a plus formation will be made, so she's still covering everybody. Although if you do that, it's difficult to move forward. So the question here is, do you go in with T-Jess and take the dog? You might lose your chance to do so if you don't do it this turn, because then Liana next turn will just have turn priority and be able to heal up the dog. Oh yeah, you can't. Magic Gargle style. I keep messing up on that. It's not something you see too much, but I really shouldn't mess up on that because I'm the kind of person that runs it. Yeah, dog's fine. He probably wants to just sit here. Maybe move up 1 tile, because that would put him in range to lock down the Reen. The thing is, he just can't jump right now. As soon as he does, she'll be dead to T-Jess. Yeah. Yeah, no, Wing's saying she's crippled with debuffs at the moment, and really you just don't need to take that risk. It's fine to just sit here and build up some more stacks too. So dog does move out of Listel guard range. The thing is, if you... Yeah, no, BGuy doesn't take it. Wants to build up more TJ stacks. That tile that BGuy just clicked on was the one next to the left of that tile was the one I was thinking of. You would be out of range of Bozal AoEing the rest of your team. But HP is precious here, because the only way to heal our team right now, or to heal BGuy's team right now, is Dark Despair from Licorice. Excuse me. And so it would be sort of an effective trade, because T-Jess wouldn't be able to kill anything on this team after she gets nailed by something. You would need to clock Dark Despair to heal her Sorks, and you might get heal blocked, other such things. Well, you wouldn't need to clock it. It would heal them, probably. Because Sorks wouldn't take that much damage from these magic AoEs. Yeah, time is running low for Tyrone, and BGuy I think is like at around 200 seconds, something like that, so... Once you run out of time, it's when you start making mistakes you wouldn't normally make. So you run out of time and you can't think. Listel was guarding, but Juggler moved out of Listel guard range. That's what Absol is talking about, I think. Yeah. And yeah, Bernhardt 3C did literally just come out. So did Emmerich 3C. Yeah, she did not have Strengthen, but she still had Act again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Had to attack, buff, and teleport, so she couldn't. Because she definitely might miss that kill if you go in without an attack buff. I don't know, though. So the Thorns is really annoying. Now, one Dark Despair won't be enough, and probably just this is a trade. Yeah, Bozal just takes her out. Loses some Crystal Warlocks for it, but it's just fine. Midnight Feast for 1, and for 2 they have self-sustain. Ein's angle is not great here. Oh yeah, okay. But I think Reen would want to move first. Or yeah, no, Burn is the choice, because you heal block them, and since Liana didn't bring Sky Archer or Mass Protect, she can't do anything about this. She can spend one turn removing it, and then that's just one turn of no healing, and you're about to eat Reem AoE to the face, along with Ainz. Ainz will only be on Bozal, and okay, so Kruger does get healed a little bit by using that single target heal to remove one debuff. That's a full team Reen AoE. And now there's no single target tank, so that Burn is looking at all these units like they're a snack. Listel can Blood Dance him, maybe. I don't think I saw a green skill. That's a lot of damage. And a clock. To rub some salt into that wound. Yeah, she goes for the Blood Dance. You kind of need to do this, because otherwise there's too much well, even at that HP, Burn should still be able to kill like any of these units other than Listel. And yeah, the silence on Kruger as well, and heal reversal on Bozel and Listel. The Blood Queen getting heal reversed. Always hate to see it. Yeah, it was hard before that even happened. And Liana might die here. It's a cool animation. Oh, it just barely lives. She did have gospel on herself, so that's good. But yeah, look at the 165 HP. But GG. Well played by BGuy. Also well played by DivineTyrone. We top 16 players do not have a chance to rejoin TSDL, I believe. So sorry to him. His tournament run ends here, and BGuy advances to the round of 8. I would stick around, but there's some stuff I gotta do, and I gotta prepare for some casts later too, which we are casting Aaron Noah versus Anson 1 hour before reset. I'll be casting on Dango stream. So that's it for me, guys. You guys have a lovely day, and bye.